On a desolate battlefield filled with corpses, the Shaolin abbot Hinjin Cheon, the MANHWA sect leader Zhang Guang, and the Namgung patriarch Namgung Huang are standing there. Namgung Huang, noticing the Demon King's exhaustion, says that this is their chance to kill that bastard. The Demon King, with dark hair and a bright red eye, tells them that only they remain. Sending a wave of ki so powerful that they barely hold on, the Demon King reaches Jin Cheon with such great speed that he gets shocked. Jin Cheon is pushed by the Demon King's attack, but he regains his balance. Cursing the divine demon, he spins his staff and shoots a beam of light, heavenly Buddha palm strike, toward him. The divine demon jumps high in the air, avoiding the attack, and says that he will kill him first. Coming down, the divine demon attacks Jin Cheon from above with his sword, which Jin Cheon blocks. Overwhelmed, Jin Cheon asks the others for help, saying that this is their chance. Both of them rush in to help. All three of them attack the divine demon at once, while the divine demon evades their attacks. While Jin Cheon engages with the divine demon, the other two create some distance. The MANHWA sect leader uses Plum Blossom Flash Strike, and the Namgung clan leader uses Rolling Thunder Strike, and they manage to injure the divine demon. The divine demon, injured, coughs up blood from his mouth. Jin Cheon approaches him from behind, spinning his staff, and he prays that the divine demon gets reborn in paradise, as if delivering the final strike. The divine demon jumps high in the air, avoiding the attack, and starts spinning violently. Coming down with incredible speed, he extends his hand and slams Jin Cheon's head on the ground, killing him. The divine demon rips out his head, and with a grin on his face, asks who's next. The other two watch in horror, realizing that they are not facing a human, but a monster. The divine demon rushes at them. Namgung Huang steps back and tells Zhang Guang to get back. The divine demon attacks Zhang Guang with full force, which he barely blocks. This man with bright red eyes and covered in black lightning is Zhang Cheon. To kill him, who single-handedly drenched the Central Plains in blood, all the martial masters of the 9 great sects united. But even after that, facing the one called the greatest under the heaven, their alliance was pushed to the brink of destruction. Zhang Cheon and Zhang Guang are clashing swords. Zhang tells the old man to prepare his own grave, to which the old man replies that he will, but it won't be his, but Zhang's grave. Zhang falls back, and the old man uses the plum blossom rain technique. The plum blossom vines approach him fast. He grips his sword tighter, determined to not fall just yet. He recalls a memory of him sitting with someone under a tree, playing with children. Zhang Cheon tells himself that he can't die just yet. He uses demonic sword art's 5th form, Black Dragon Execution, and cuts the vines along with the old man. With this, the leader of the MANHWA sect, Zhang Guang, is dead. Namgung Huang uses the Infinite Emperor sword arts and runs in circles around Zhang Cheon, hitting him countless times. Zhang grits his teeth in pain and curses Namgung Huang, calling him a rat, but he can't give up. He remembers his lover protecting the children. They were killed in cold blood. Zhang catches up to Namgung Huang. Smirking, he says that it tickled. Zhang holds his sword with both hands, coating it with qi. He swings at Namgung Huang, who barely manages to dodge it, but he loses his fingers. Zhang kicks him, sending him tumbling backwards like a football. Huang, gritting his teeth,
curses Zhang.
Desperate, he uses the same technique as before. He runs around Zhang Cheon, trying to confuse him, and appears behind him while he is facing the other way, and plunges his sword into his back, telling him to die. Huang laughs hysterically and says that Zhang's stubborn life will end here. Zhang, gritting his teeth in pain, feels it is getting clearer. Remembering the smiles on their faces, he says that they should finish it. When Namgung Huang asks what he said, he screams that they should finish this cursed entanglement. Zhang drives his sword through his own shoulder and stabs Huang in the heart, making him spew blood from his mouth. While Huang groans in pain, Zhang pulls the sword out of his shoulder and beheads Namgung Huang. While Huang's head falls to the ground, seeing Zhang back, he asks how Zhang is still alive, even though he pierced his heart, and wonders if he surpassed human limits. With the death of Namgung Huang, the 9 great sects have been annihilated. Zhang, holding his sword, calls their names, Yunhua, Seok, Yang, and asks them if this was good enough. Then we get a flashback of Zhang's childhood. He is fighting with some children. They call him arrogant and ask him how dare he act up. A man picks him up, saying that he is very good at fighting, while Zhang is still angry. Zhang asks if this is his life flashing before his eyes. He He sees himself training with his master and remarks that it has been a long time since he has seen his young face. This is where his Murim life began. It started with a fight for survival, wandering without a home. He had to kill someone to live another day. It was endless slaughter. Jeong started wondering if such a life could have meaning, if human life is really that fleeting. Then MANHWA came, saying that she understands. She told him that she also has to clash in the market, arguing with people. In this world, he must treat everyone as an enemy if he wants to live longer. Even though it's hard for her to feed her siblings, they are the most precious in her life. When she lost her parents, they gave meaning to her life. She told him that he should also find meaning for his life. Jeong starts crying, tears dripping down his face. He wanted to live with them. For someone like him, who only knows how to kill, they gave him a reason to live. He raised his sword again for revenge. He wandered his whole life without any roots, and he wonders where the meaning of his life was. Remembering MANHWA's face, he realizes that it was here all along. The blood-soaked path Jeong walked all alone, despite the wounds he had. He gave everything he had to this revenge. Gazing at the sunset, he lowered his sword and closed his eyes. He hears someone arguing, asking if they think he will sell his clan's secret martial arts for a few coins. Jeong, annoyed by the ruckus, wonders if this is what hell is like. When he opens his eyes, he sees a woman saying that since their older brother suffered an unfortunate accident and cannot carry the martial arts line, she will have her son inherit the MANHWA clan's martial arts. Jeong, confused, unable to understand the situation, wonders if this is not hell. A young man refuses her, saying that his brother is well, and how can they give the clan's martial arts to outsiders? Then a girl follows, saying that even if their brother cannot learn martial arts, their grandfather's martial arts must remain in the clan. Jeong, looking at the children, wonders who they are. The man in the red cloak says that it won't end if they keep arguing and proposes a deal. He says that he heard they are so poor that they can't even afford food, so he will bet money while Hua Mujin can bet their clan's whole martial legacy. Then, they will both duel for it, and the winner will take everything, and he asks Jeong if he agrees to the duel. Both the children intervene, saying that their brother wasn't able to train in martial arts because of his madness, and they ask the man in red if he thinks they will fall for such a trick. Jeong makes fun of the guy, calling him noisy. The children freeze in surprise when Jeong asks who the hell is Hua Mujin, saying that he is the divine demon, Jeong Cheon. Cheong Dobo asks our MC what he said. Jeong repeats that his name is Jeong Cheon, and everyone calls him the divine demon. Dobo chuckles and says that our MC might as well call himself the king of the underworld. The children, embarrassed, wonder why Jeong is acting like that now, of all times. The woman in red remarks that his madness must be getting worse by the day, and says that with Hua Mujin in that state, the fate of the clan is already sealed. So he should accept their deal. It's not bad advice. She is the master of the Changhua merchant group, Buchoyan. Closing her fan, she says that there is no need to talk more. She will take their silence as acceptance of the duel. The duel will be held in the Byung Pavilion on the 5th day of the next month. Leaving the place, they warn that if he breaks the agreement, then there will be consequences, since it's a promise between two martial artists. The children say that it's unbelievable that they decided it on their own. The children ask Mujin what he is going to do now, since he never even swung a sword before. Mujin, confused, asks what they are talking about. Considering Dobo's level, he can defeat him with one burst of his inner energy. But when he tries to exert his chi, he feels nothing. He realizes that it's all gone. The children sigh in worry. Mujin curses his own body, asking what's wrong with it. It has no inner energy at all. It's so frail that he can't even hold a sword. The girl, desperate, tells Mujin to stop it. She begs him to come to his senses, saying that even if he is in a state of madness, how could he just sit and do nothing? Tears visible in her eyes. The boy scolds her, asking how she can say that to their brother, and he tells her to apologize. She refuses to apologize and says that it's all Mujin's fault that their parents died. Even after hearing that, he remains silent and sees the girl running back inside. The boy says that he might not remember, but she often acts like that, and asks Mujin to understand, then takes his leave, leaving Mujin alone. Mujin, bewildered, says that even children treat him like a madman and thinks that it's truly absurd. When the evening comes, Mujin is standing beside a pillar, scratching his head. clearly remembers the sensation of his heart being pierced, leaving him unable to breathe. Since he fulfilled his vengeance for Yan Ha and her siblings, he should have died peacefully, but now he is inside this body. He sits on the ground, wondering how this happened and who are those children who resemble Sok and Young. He recalls that she called him mad and asks what kind of nonsense that is. A guy comes to him running and scolds him, saying that he went out again with that frail body. The guy asks Mujin if he knew how worried he was, to which Mujin just asks him who he is. This guy is a servant of the Flamehua clan, Masok. Masok, holding Mujin's hand, says that it seems he had another seizure of madness, so he will explain everything once again. He explains that Hua Mujin was once so talented and reputable that many orthodox sects wanted to take him in as a disciple, and at the age of 23, he became the leader of their sect. And this is his 6025th time explaining it. Hua Mujin, pulling his hand away, asks if he was that talented, then why doesn't he have any chi, and why everyone thinks that he is a lunatic. Masok explains that 17 years ago, when Mujin was 6 years old, he had a duel with Dobo. It was supposed to be a duel without inner energy. He doesn't know who requested the fight, but in the absence of the elders of both families, both of them exchanged blows. Dobo kicks Mujin, but he dodges it narrowly by tilting his head. Mujin tries to hit Dobo, but he blocks every attack. Dobo says that it's no wonder he is admired by the orthodox sects. He is very good at hand-to-hand combat. Mujin, confused, asks Dobo what he is talking about. Dobo calls Mujin a fool and, gathering chi in his hand, hits Mujin in the face. Dust flies everywhere and Mujin is sent flying backwards. Mujin somehow regains his balance, trying to cover his bleeding nose, and asks Dobo why he used the Seven Moons fist strike. It was supposed to be a fight without internal energy. Dobo, while laughing, asks Mujin if he still considers him his friend. And Dobo reveals that the technique is the Seven Wounds Fist technique, which is passed down in the Kongdong sect, and it has some serious after effects. He even tested it on a senior, and after just one strike, he is still bedridden, and he is curious how Mujin will handle it. Dobo hits Mujin again. Now Mujin understands why the girl called him crazy. If everyone thinks that it is the after effect of the Seven Wounds technique, then it makes sense. Mujin thinks about the nerves Dobo has. He first crippled him, and then asked for a duel. Mujin asks Masok how his family handled Dobo back then for everything to end up like this. Masok informs Mujin that it was the decision of the former clan patriarch. Even though Dobo was his cousin, he was also the son of the Cheon merchant group, ranked among the top 10 in the Central Plain, so he just gave him a stern scolding and ended the matter. Mujin, angered, remarks that his own son was crippled and he just ended it with a scolding. Calling the household pathetic, he turns around and asks Masok about his parents' whereabouts. The scene shifts to inside the manor. Mujin is standing in front of the fireplace and staring into a mirror. Masok reveals that as his condition worsened by the day, his father went into debt trying to cure his madness. 9 years ago, his mother died because of her illness, and 3 years after that, his father, bedridden by debt, also passed away. People started whispering, a son who became the reason of his parents' death, a brother who put his siblings in a tough spot. The Flamehua clan's reputation ended that day. All that remained was debts taken for his sake, 2 loyal retainers, a handful of martial artists, and the younger son of the Flamehua clan, Hua Dojin, and the daughter of the Flamehua clan, Hua Soyan, his younger siblings. Mujin thinks that one sickness destroyed the whole household. It's no wonder that the girl was so furious. Later, Mujin has gathered some history books from his room. He learns that he died as the divine demon Jeong 30 years ago, and this feeling is too real for it to be a dream. In short, he inhabited the body of Hua Mujin of the Flamehua clan, a lunatic with no energy core, and since he already took his revenge, he has no regrets. Mujin looks at some letters left by his siblings, wishing him to recover soon. Recalling them, he thinks that their situation is tragic, and they remind him of Seok and Young. If he is supposed to live this life, then perhaps he will help them a little. But right now, his biggest obstacle is the Cheonghua merchant group. The duel is set on the 5th day of the next month. Mujin has to rebuild himself before that. Mujin smiles, thinking he will have to start from the beginning. Mujin sits in a lotus position, meditating in front of a lit candle. Back then, even breathing was difficult. Maybe it's because of this body's innate martial aptitude. He didn't even go through the process of sensing chi. All he has to do is close his eyes. Energy gathers around Mujin in a golden flash, and then an explosion happens. Light can be seen coming out of the house. Everyone gets startled by the loud explosion. They quickly rush inside Mujin's room. An elder, seeing Mujin passed out on the ground, starts rejoicing, saying that he is finally dead. But when he checks his pulse, he says that he was joking and reveals that in fact he is even stronger now, while Masok sighs in relief. Mujin grabs the elder's hand and asks what's wrong with his body. All he did was try to form an energy core, but he feels excruciating pain. When the elder asks what he means, Mujin asks if his body has some special constitution, to which the elder replies that his constitution is said to be the heavenly martial body, or so he was told by the elder monk of Shaolin. Mujin, coughing up blood, realizes that it's exactly the opposite of being suited to learn demonic martial arts. If someone with pure energy practices demonic arts, they will suffer immense pain, and in the worst case, they might even die. Masok tries to wake up Mujin, while Mujin reveals that there are countless types of martial bodies, and asks himself why it has to be this one. Mujin asks Masok about the two old men, to which Masok replies that they are Elder Joe and Chief Steward Du. Looking at them, he thinks that they aren't even bothered, even though the eldest son of the clan has collapsed, while the two elders discuss that Mujin's condition seems to be worsening, so maybe it's time that they prepare themselves. Mujin, calling him a fool, says that he won't die. The scene shifts to 3 days later. Mujin is going somewhere. Masok nags at him from behind, saying that he shouldn't go out. He's been lying down for 3 days. Mujin thinks that due to his body he will die even before he duels. Mujin tells Masok to shut up and says he will need a sword if he has to duel, and orders Masok to go and get some swords for him. Masok replies that they don't have the money to buy food. Where would they get the money for a sword? Mujin asks why this household has no money. Masok says that they are currently taking loans from an orthodox sect called the Bangho sect, and due to high interest rates they have a ridiculous amount of tax. Mujin realizes that the clan has fallen and the money problem must be solved first. Mujin, putting his hand on Masok's shoulder, says that they already have large debt and a bit more won't hurt. Masok, surprised, asks if Mujin is going to loan more money and asks if he is crazy. Mujin shuts him up and tells him to write a letter to the two elders. Holding a paper in his hands, Mujin says that he is going on a walk. Later, the elder reads the letter with trembling hands and learns that Mujin has gone to the Bangho sect. Elder Huanbong asks what he is worried about. The Bangho sect will just throw him out. Elder Bakshin says that it's not the problem. What if Mujin causes trouble there? At the Bangho sect, Mujin and Masok are standing before a big guy. Mujin asks the big guy to pass on the message to his leader that the leader of the Flame sect wants to see him. Kong Noho, a Bangho guard, tells Mujin that if he is there to gamble, then he should just get inside. Mujin asks why Noho can't bring his superior to him, to which the guard gets angry. Then another guy comes out, asking what's the matter. The guard tells him that Mujin wants to meet their leader. Mujin asks if he is the superior. The guy asks Mujin why he wants to see the leader. Mujin replies that he wants to loan more money. The guy in the hat is the vice leader of the Bangho sect, Ma Jungbo. He says that if Mujin is a customer, then there is no need to meet the leader, and asks Mujin to come inside. Our guys are walking down in a cave with the vice leader and some guards. Masok, feeling uneasy, says that they should head back. Something doesn't feel right. Mujin asks him what he is talking about. Masok says that he heard that a few days ago Granny Shin of the tea house saw the Bangho leader fight a martial artist, and the martial artist's chest was split open in a blink of an eye. He heard that he learned the Black Hand Twin Killer power, Heavenly Martial Moon Slaying Arts. While they are still walking, Mujin asks Masok, Black Hand what? Masok repeats the long-ass name again. Mujin simply asks what about it. The vice leader says that Mujin's servant seems to catch on fast, but it's too late to turn back now. Then all the guards point their swords at Mujin. The vice leader tells them to begin, while Masok just sits there scared. Mujin asks if this was his intention from the start. The vice leader says that outside, there were too many people watching. He couldn't just beat the crap out of him. But for someone who isn't even paying interest, he has no shame asking for more money. And he won't let Mujin leech off of them like his parents. Masok starts kneeling down, begging Ma Jungbo to spare Mujin's life. Mujin gets confused hearing about his parents. Mujin, with a straight face, says that he doesn't have any parents. Everyone turns silent for a moment. Mujin realizes that he thought of himself when he was Jeongchon. Majingbo tells the guards to teach Mujin a lesson. A guard grabs Mujin from behind, saying that he will beat the shit out of him. Mujin moves behind him, grabbing his arm. Mujin breaks it. The guard falls to the ground in pain, holding his broken arm. Mujin remarks that he has soft bones for such a big guy. Mujin, looking at his own body, thinks that with this rotten body, he shouldn't use chi. Majingbo tells the guards not to wait around and finish Mujin. A guard moves towards Mujin, swinging his sword around. Mujin just dodges the attacks effortlessly. Unable to hit Mujin, the guard calls him a rat. Since Mujin can't match their power, he has to be fast. Mujin headbutts the soldier. The soldier stumbles back, while another tries to stab Mujin. Mujin avoids the attack, doing a backflip, shocking the soldier. He kicks the soldier, sending him tumbling backwards. The soldier crashes into another man with great force. Masok asks Mujin if he is all right. When Mujin replies that he is fine, he asks Mujin where he learned such martial arts. Mujin says that it's not martial arts, it's something he picked up on the streets. Masok wonders when Mujin spent time on the streets. Majingbo praises Mujin, saying that he is not that bad, and tells him to try dodging this attack, and shoots a coin towards Mujin. The coin barely misses him, even cutting some of his hair. The soldiers get back up, trying to surround Mujin. Majingbo tells them to get lost. He will deal with Mujin now. Mujin says that he just wanted to meet their leader and asks Jungbo if it is really that hard. Jungbo replies that someone like Mujin isn't allowed to meet the leader. Rushing towards Mujin, Jungbo says that now he will crush him, but Mujin blocks the attack. Jungbo notices that he is holding chopsticks. Since Mujin didn't have a sword, he just brought something else. Jungbo attacks Mujin relentlessly, but he blocks all his attacks. Mujin realizes that he was right. Jungbo is using some unknown martial arts. Then Mujin finds a gap and stabs Jungbo's hand. Jungbo looks at his hand in amazement. Not only did Mujin block his attacks with chopsticks, he also found an opening. Furious, Jungbo slashes at Mujin, which he dodges easily. Mujin tells Jungbo that if he underestimates chopsticks, he might end up shitting himself. Then Jungbo is hit by the chopsticks thrown by Mujin. He thought that Mujin was a fool with no chi. How did he get this strong in such a short time? Jungbo wonders if Mujin is even the same person he knew before. He stabs another chopstick into Jungbo's elbow. Mujin says that he was curious about the guys who loaned them money, and asks if they tried to take money from them with such terrible skills. Jungbo jumps back and, covering his sword with chi, says that Mujin's jokes will stop after this. He uses the moon-slaying technique's ultimate move. Mujin says that the one joking around is him. Jungbo comes down swinging his sword, but Mujin dodges it. Jungbo, surprised that Mujin dodged his attack, sees a fist coming his way. Mujin hits Jungbo hard in the stomach. Jungbo, groaning in pain, asks Mujin how he is planning to deal with the aftermath. Mujin replies that he is not there to listen to some threats, and if Jungbo does what he wants, he won't kill him. Then Mujin asks him to let him loan more money. Mujin, smoking a pipe, thinks that he hasn't felt this happy in ages. Masok snatches the pipe from his hand, saying that it's not good for him. Jungbo asks Mujin about what he wanted to know. The three of them are sitting at a table while the other guards are on the ground with their heads. Mujin says that Bongho guys hate losing money, so why did they give them a loan, and without collateral at that? Saying that he is just sensing some malicious intent. Jungbo says that Mujin must be confused. Why would they have malice? To which Mujin tells him to think well. Otherwise, he will shove 30 or so of these dice up his throat. Then he won't be able to talk, even if he wanted to talk. After thinking for a bit, Jungbo says that they were orders from Cheonghwa Merchant Group. Mujin says that he knew that it was them, and asks Jungbo what kind of deal they made with them. When Jungbo hesitates, Mujin tells him that he is not a proud sage or a warrior. Rolling the dice towards him, he tells Jungbo that he should save his loyalty for his underlings. The merchant bastards won't care even if his limbs are cut off or this whole place is burnt down completely. Jungbo reveals that the merchant group told them to give Flamehua as much money as they needed, with an interest so high that they fall into a ridiculously large debt. And in exchange for making the Flamehua clan, they would receive Flamehua on top of other rewards. Mujin chuckles after learning that it was for the land of the Flamehua clan. Then Mujin asks Jungbo about the 300 gold nyang that he is borrowing today. How much will it add up to after 1 year? Jungbo replies that according to the contract, it will be 5,000 gold nyang. Mujin, laughing, says that they are really funny. Moving on, with a serious face, he asks Jungbo about the guys who clean up after their messes. Jungbo replies that it's the social sect of the Four Martial Heavens. It's an alliance of unorthodox sects. Mujin asks if the Four Martial Heavens had something like that, to which Jungbo replies that they joined recently. Mujin states that they are a messy group. Masok, whispering to Mujin, asks him what he is talking about. He has never met them. Mujin just brushes him off, saying that he is not in a mood to explain. Mujin asks why the guy who went to get the money is taking so long. Just then the door bursts open. The guy with the box enters. He places the box on the table, saying that it's 300 gold nyang. Looking at the money, Mujin thinks that it should be enough. He stands up and tells Masok that they are leaving. Masok asks if they are really borrowing it. Mujin tells him to shut up and tells him to take it. Outside, Mujin tells Jungbo to write down the loan in their books. Once he has dealt with the Cheonghwa merchant group, he will return and pay his debts. Before leaving, Mujin says that he heard that they are taking money from peasants and warns them not to go too far, otherwise he will screw them over. Jungbo replies that he understands. As they leave, Jungbo laughs, thinking that they will see who will get screwed over. When Mujin returns, the elder is waiting outside. Seeing blood, he gets surprised. Mujin reassures him, saying that it's not his blood. Worried, Elder Bixin asks Mujin what happened at the Bangho sect. Mujin tells him that he just went to borrow some money. He thought that they were in need. They need to feed the martial artists well, otherwise they will run away. Seeing the box in Masok's hands, Bixin asks him where he stole that from, because there is no way that the Bangho sect would lend them more. Mujin answers that he just told them to write it down in their books. Placing his hand on Bixin, Mujin says that he just has to worry about feeding and clothing his siblings well, and leaves wishing them good luck. The three of them are left standing alone outside. Masok puts the box down. Elder Bixin asks Elder Zhou if he has ever heard of a disease that makes people mad like this. Inside, Mujin lights a candle for his parents. Looking up, he says that since he never had parents, he is not sure what to say. But the money issue has been resolved a bit, and he tells them not to worry. He will take care of his siblings and the servants, and tells them to rest easy while the kids watch him from afar. Mujin says that he promised to fight some idiot named Dobo for some secret scroll of their clan. But they don't have to worry. He will just break his neck. The scene shifts to the next day. At sunrise, 3 men come to the Flamehua clan, carrying large boxes. After putting them down, they complain about them being too heavy. One of them even says that it felt like his back was going to snap. Mujin opens the door in a hurry, asking if it is here. There are weights written on them. 50 jin, 80 jin, 110 jin. Masok, looking at the great sword, asks Mujin why he got them. Mujin, reaching into the box, asks what else would he do with a sword. He is going to swing it. Grabbing the 50 jin sword, he thinks that he should start with the lowest weight. But when he tries to pick it up, he can barely move it. Masok asks Mujin if he is really going to swing something that heavy. Mujin had a feeling that it might be the case, but to think that he can't even pick up a 50 jin sword. Then he tries using both hands, thinking that he can't give up, and manages to pick it up, though his whole body is trembling. Mujin tells Masok to stop staring and asks him to add a lot of meat to his meals. Masok just watches him in worry. Mujin ties the sword to his hand with a cloth, and raising it high, recalls that he only has 2 weeks before the duel. His body's constitution is the heavenly martial body, the polar opposite of the demonic arts that his master taught him. Now he has no choice but to learn his master's friend's martial arts, the peerless 9 swords. This is his only way out. While Dobo is just playing violin, he learns that Mujin beat up some guys of the Bangho clan. A guy with a pigeon on his shoulder confirms it, saying that according to the letter they sent, they won't be able to move for almost 2 weeks. Dobo says that Mujin lacks an energy core, so how could he do that? Then smiling, he admits that Mujin is not a nobody and says that he should prepare a present for the heir of the Flamehua clan. Dobo breaks the violin strings for no reason and starts feeling excited for the duel, waiting to see Mujin's hidden side. Mujin, covered in bandages, pushes his body to the limit, training without rest, thinking that a martial body, a body which is gifted by the heavens, should be able to endure this much. Looking at a crate, he finds out that Masok has prepared everything. Now he will finally be able to start. Holding a sword in front of him, he takes a deep breath and performs the peerless 9 swords arts. First form, preemptive strike, resulting in a devastating thrust. If you go forth with a sword at all times, not even a mountain will be able to stop your path. He uses the second form and performs 2 slashes in a row. Just then he feels excruciating pain in his abdomen and starts getting overwhelmed. He grits his teeth and endures it. Then he takes a ball and kicks it with full force. The ball bounces all over the room. Mujin closes his eyes and concentrates. Just as the ball was about to hit Mujin, he uses the third form, Chi Destruction, and cuts the ball into pieces. Then he smirks, satisfied with his training. But the ball hits him in the back, making his eyes pop out. He complains about the pain for a moment, but quickly moves toward the next training. He pulls a rope, which drops a lot of bamboos. He prepares a stance, ready to cut them down. He uses the fourth form, Martial Art Destruction. While a way to fight every martial art can't be found, a simple sword can slice through them all. But Mujin didn't cut a single one. On top of that, a bamboo cuts a rope, triggering another mechanism, which drops wooden logs on Mujin. Mujin uses the fifth form, Army Slash. In the face of true power, numbers are meaningless. He cuts down all the logs, but it doesn't work either. Just like this, he practices all the 9 forms, but he fails to replicate it. Laying exhausted, he recalls his master when he showed him the 9th form of the Peerless Sword. His master asked him if he remembers it. Jeong replies that he does, but he asks if a half-assed sword form really deserves to be called a martial art. The explanation is too edgy. It sounds like it was made up by a kid. His master, holding his head, says that he can't deny it, but he can't let his friend's martial arts end like this. Since he wasn't able to inherit properly, then Jeong should do it. His master reveals that his friend was the only one who could match his power. Jeong asks if he did that without chi. His master says that he thinks he was using some movement arts, to which Jeong starts laughing. His master flicks him on the forehead. His master says that if he says it, it's true. Jeong, covering his forehead, says that he understands. His master continues, saying that if a sword form is practiced 1,000 times, his body will start to change. If he practices a form 100,000 times, his chi will start to enter his sword. And if he practiced a form for 1,000,000 times, he will have trouble finding his match under the heaven. To which Jeong says that he is curious about what kind of a man his master's friend was. In the present, Masok slaps Mujin, calling him young master, trying to wake him up. Mujin tells Masok if he slaps him one more time, he will kill him. Masok says that he was worried because he didn't wake up even when Masok slapped him. Mujin recalls that he fainted after practicing the form just once, and he has a long way to go. Masok places a table of food in front of Mujin. Looking at the food, Mujin asks if it's pork. Masok agrees and says that yesterday Mujin told him that he wanted meat, and tells Mujin to enjoy the meal. Picking the pork with his chopsticks, he tells Masok to get beef next time because it's the best for gaining muscles. And if he needs money, he can use what they borrowed from the MANHWA sect. If they need more, then he will borrow more, so there is no need to worry about expenses. Curious, Masok asks Mujin when he learned such martial arts. Eating casually, Mujin asks what about it. Then thinking more about it, Mujin says that he would also be surprised if a loser like him started talking about martial arts. Masok says that he was just curious because he didn't know martial arts before, but then he beat MANHWA sect, and now he is learning this freakish swordsmanship. Laughing, he says that he already told the kids, so telling him should be fine. He is not Mujin. His real identity is the divine demon. Masok stops him, saying that he doesn't need a fantasy story. He says that he is worried that Mujin will lose his memories, and he will start acting differently and leave MANHWA clan one day. Masok asks Mujin if he's going to leave MANHWA clan. Putting his chopsticks down, he says that he is never going to leave this clan, not until it becomes the greatest in all of Sichuan. And besides, he doesn't have anything better to do now. Masok, sighing, says that it's nonsense. Mujin just flicks him on the forehead and says if he is done talking, he can leave. Thinking about Mujin, Jeong thinks that the title of the greatest in Sichuan should satisfy him. Inside, while Elder Bixin is having tea, Elder Huanbong states that the duel will take place in 10 days. Elder Bixin assumes that Dobo will definitely kill the clan heir, and then he will come here to take the treasure of the MANHWA clan. Elder Huanbong suggests that they should run away before that happens. Elder Bixin asks him what he is trying to say. Elder Huanbong asks Elder Bixin to think about it. They can't let the other dudes die as well. Mujin is exhausted after training for hours. He notices that his arms have gained some muscles. Now he is at the point that he can wield a 70-kilogram sword with one hand. But his technique is still unstable, and there is only a week left until the duel. Someone says that he is working hard at it. Looking at the children, Mujin asks them what they are doing there, and tells them to go play somewhere else since it's dangerous here. They say that they were just worried. They were watching him for a few days and he is pushing himself too hard, and ask Mujin if he is doing it because of what they said last time. The girl says that she was angry and didn't mean it. Mujin, looking at them, thinks that they remind him of the kids in his past life. He pats their heads, telling them that it's all right, they don't have to worry about him. The boy, moving on, praises Mujin for his posture, calling it amazing, and asks if this is the right way to do it. The girl points out that Mujin had his arms a bit more straight. Mujin, seeing the boy copy him, thinks that he is cute. They remind him of his days when he trained with his master. His master tells him to exhale when swinging the sword, and he shouldn't rush it, and when he comes back, he should inhale slowly. Mujin realizes that the most important part of the Peerless Nine sword is the breathing technique. He simply forgot what his master taught him. Smiling, Mujin tells the kids that he will win the duel no matter what, so they don't have to worry about it, and kicks them both out, telling them to go back to their rooms. Seeing Mujin acting like that, the children laugh, thinking that it will probably be fine. The scene shifts at the Flamehua clan. It's raining. Mujin first exhales when swinging his sword for as long as possible, and then holds it for some time, and then exhales in slow and short breaths when coming back to his original state. He performs the fifth form, Army Slash. Using all of his collected chi, he finally succeeds in cutting the logs. Unlike other martial arts, where chi flows through the meditation, the movement arts are considered low rate. But the most important aspect of the movement arts is a stable breathing technique. Mujin cuts through a boulder using his sword, and after repeated training, the once messed up dantian slowly starts to come together. Elsewhere, while Masok is eating, Elder Huanbong asks if Mujin is still training. Masok confirms, saying that he is a completely different person now. He has improved a lot, and he thinks that the treatment he got from the Wudang sect really paid off. But Elder Huanbong knows that the treatment wouldn't have cured him with just one session. The elder tells him to report to him if there is a problem, but Masok just runs off, saying that he will. He goes to the training ground and tells Mujin that the dinner is ready, but he sees the place destroyed. Masok asks what happened. Mujin replies that the place is too small for him to train now. From now on, he is going to use the training hall. At the training hall, people look at him with discontent. Mujin sees that there are already people there. Masok tells them that the young master wishes to use the great training hall, but the other guys just glare at him. Mujin, placing his sword on the ground, says that he is going to borrow the training hall from now on, and tells them to leave, saying that they can use the other one. Pissed off, the other martial artists wonder what this walking corpse is saying. Just because he has a sword doesn't mean that he is a martial artist. Mujin, laughing, says that their eyes look like they want to challenge him. A guy with black hair tries to argue with Mujin, but someone stops him. This man is Rain's sword squad leader, Chol Bo-in. He says that they should leave, since Mujin wants to use the training hall. While they all leave, Mujin calls out to Chol Bo-in and says that if he has a problem, then he should say it to his face. Chol Bo-in asks what if he does. Mujin asks what does he think? They are swordsmen. They will fight, pointing his sword towards Chol Bo-in. Chol Bo-in says that there is no way that they will point their swords towards him, who will eventually become the patriarch. To which Mujin says that if he wasn't going to fight, then he shouldn't have barked, just as the cowardly dogs they are. Chol Bo-in unsheathes his sword, and pointing it at Mujin, tells him to not regret it. Mujin answers that he is not someone who regrets things in life, while the siblings are stalking him again. Cheon Bo-in strikes at Mujin, but Mujin, instead of using his sword, just leaves it there and jumps up, avoiding the attack. Everyone is shocked that Mujin is fighting without his sword. Cheon Bo-in attacks Mujin repeatedly, but Mujin dodges them all. Unable to hit Mujin, Cheon Bo-in tells Mujin to stop evading his attacks and fight him like a man. Mujin agrees and picks up his sword. Spinning his sword, Cheon Bo-in says that he's been in the Flamehua clan for 25 years, and the current state of the clan is all his fault. And now he wants to learn martial arts, and says that he should know his place. Cheon Bo-in rushes towards Mujin. Mujin uses the Peerless Nine sword, second form, weapon destruction. Cheon Bo-in is pushed back by the clash. Cheon notices that the clash even shook his internal energy. Mujin, preparing to hit Cheon, agrees to his earlier remarks and hits him right in the face, saying that it will be different from now. Cheon, defeated, notices Mujin's eyes are different from before. They are full of determination, like a martial artist. Everyone is shocked by Mujin's victory. The other martial artists rush to the leader's side, asking if he is all right. Mujin, turning around, asks if they have any complaints now. One guy says that it was cowardly of Mujin. Mujin looks at him. The guy says that the leader can't really injure him, and just then the leader cuts him off, telling him to shut up. Sitting up, he simply says that he lost. Cheon bows in front of Mujin and says that he learned a lot. Mujin tells him to leave. All of them leave the training hall, while Masok stands behind Mujin. Mujin tells Masok to leave as well. The guys ask the leader, even if he is the young master, why did he go easy on him? To which he replies that he didn't go easy. He was planning on leaving him half dead. The guys ask the leader if he is serious. The squad leader says that he doesn't know how, but Mujin has improved a lot. Inside, the elders discuss the duel with the Chonghua merchant group. Elder Bixin asks Elder Huanbong if he knows how long it's been since they have been in the Flamehua clan. Elder Huanbong answers that it's been about 37 years. The Flame Emperor was really amazing during his younger days. He came out of nowhere and showed martial arts that even the arrogant Tang clan had to acknowledge. They were both pulled in by his radiance and swore their loyalty to him, and now they are trying to break that loyalty. Elder Bixin says that it's not what they are doing. They have to save the bloodline somehow. Huanbong replies that he already knows. He doesn't have to convince him. They have watched Huamujin's insanity for 17 years, while the Flamehua clan was declining steadily. So even if they were to see the Flame Emperor in the afterlife, he won't blame them. And asks Bixin if he is ready. Bixin says that he is. All they need is some money to resettle somewhere. And other than that, they have a few martial artists and 4 permits. Bixin tells Huanbong to go first. Huanbong asks about Bixin. Bixin says that Huamujin is still his blood. Somebody needs to help him recover. Bixin reveals that a martial master of the Kongdong sect hired by the Chonghua merchant group will come as the witness for the duel. Huanbong says that it's not a duel but a robbery at this point. Bixin replies that they are very serious about this. When they win, they won't leave a trace of this place behind. Bixin tells Huanbong to go to the planned location and wait for him. The 2 kids will be shocked by this, but it can't be helped. The next day, Mujin comments that the meat feels very tough lately. To which Masok tells him that the cheapest part of a cow is always tough. Mujin asks if they have already run out of money. Masok, while having tea, says that he doesn't know. The manager doesn't give him much money. Mujin asks him if he is mad. Masok replies that he wouldn't get mad over something so petty. Mujin asks why he is saying something, so he would beat Masok up. Brushing that aside, Mujin asks how his new clothes are. Masok, with a straight face, says that he doesn't know. He looked better when he was all bandaged up. Then 2 bumps appear on Masok's head. Mujin tells him to get going. Bixin asks Mujin if he is going. Mujin asks if he is trying to suggest that he should run away. Bixin answers that he is not, but he will go with them. Mujin thinks that the old man worries too much. Well, he is going to beat the shit out of the opponent anyway, so it's fine. The 3 of them depart for the duel. At the place of the duel, there are bets being made. One man says that it is reasonable to place a bet on a martial clan instead of a merchant clan, and places 2 silver nyang on Flamehua clan. Then Mujin appears casually eating candy. Bixin remarks that eating before a duel is too much. Then the leader of the Chonghua clan greets them, saying that it's been a long time. She asks Mujin if he will really go through with it. Hearing that, the crowd thinks that the Flamehua sect requested the duel, and says that the rumors about Mujin's madness are true. Mujin realizes that she is trying to make it sound like they were the ones who requested the duel. Mujin counters by saying that he couldn't let them take their secret martial arts, so he had no choice but to fight like this. Changing the people's view, now they realize that the Chonghua clan tried to covet Flamehua clan's martial arts. To which she glares at him, wondering how long he will be able to maintain that composure. The host announces that the witness to today's duel is Han Yigang of the Kongdong sect, and the next successor of the Chonghua merchant group, Chong Dobo, and the young master of the Flamehua clan, Huamujin, will fight fair under the name of the Kongdong sect. The crowd erupts in excitement. Dobo remarks that he can see that Mujin received the goods they sent. Mujin, puzzled, asks what goods. Dubo answers that the uniform Mujin is wearing was sent by him personally. After unwrapping his sword, Mujin says that after the duel is over, all the goods will be returned. The crowd gets surprised seeing the Flame Hua clan using a sword. Another wonders if someone can fight with such a massive sword, and asks, wasn't the Flame Emperor known for bare-handed martial arts? Bixin asks Masok if Mujin said anything unusual before. He answers that this morning when he suggested running away to him, Mujin just got furious. Bixin asks if he really suggested running away to him. Masok says that he was just joking, but he believes that Mujin will win. But when Masok starts blabbering about the sudden change in Mujin, Bixin wonders if Mujin's madness has spread to him as well. Ringleader asks if both sides are ready for the duel. Both Mujin and Dobo take their positions. He starts the duel by ringing the bell. Before Dobo could notice it, Mujin had already reached him and strikes Dobo with his sword, which he tries to block. Everyone is shocked by how fast Mujin is. Everyone murmurs that they heard Mujin didn't learn martial arts due to his madness, so how is he so strong? Dobo charges Mujin saying that his skills are still not enough. He strikes Mujin with a barrage of slashes, but Mujin blocks them all. Both fight with incredible skill. Dobo tries to cut Mujin, but he leans back to avoid the attack, though the sword still grazed him a bit. Mujin tries to create some distance by stepping back for a bit, but Dobo follows him. The crowd is excited by the duel and cheers for the warriors. The leader of the merchant group, seeing Mujin, is surprised since he is holding his own in the duel. But she reassures herself, saying that compared to Dobo's martial arts, Mujin's skills are insignificant. Mujin strikes Dobo, but he dodges the attack. Then Mujin performs a big sweeping attack. Dobo jumps up to avoid the attack. Mujin prepares for another attack, but Dobo comes crashing down, forcing Mujin to dodge. While Mujin is trying to regain his balance, Dobo charges at him, thinking that this time he will cripple Mujin completely. Mujin, holding his own, blocks Dobo's attack again. Bixin comments that he thought Mujin would lose immediately, but he is doing quite well. To which Masok says that he doesn't know, but he thinks that Mujin isn't showing his full power. Bixin asks what he means by that. Masok replies that he's been watching Mujin train in secret, and he thinks something big is about to happen. On the other hand, Mujin thinks that his current skills are on the same level as Dobo. But it doesn't matter because, in the past, no matter how strong the opponent was, he always managed to kill him. He will kill him too. While the both of them fight with everything they've got. From the place with a shabby hut, head east for 5 kilometers, then turn towards the side of a hawthorn tree and travel 3 kilometers. Wanbong finally reaches the place that Bixin told him about. Wanbong sighs in relief, saying that they have finally arrived. Fortunately, the kids fell asleep, so it was easy to bring them along. Before departing, Wanbong recalls asking Bixin if he is really not coming. Bixin replies that Mujin is still the Flame Emperor's blood, so someone has to gather his remains, so he will go with Mujin to the duel. Then Wanbong says that he will wait at the promised location. Wanbong, looking up, wonders if it is the right thing to do. The duel is still going on. They trade blows one after another. Mujin admits that Dobo is not bad for his age, but he is still an amateur. The people are in awe of their skills. Both Mujin and Dobo seem to be evenly matched, but Mujin seems to have the upper hand. Someone from the crowd says that even though Dobo is an outer sect disciple of the Kongdong sect, he doesn't seem to be that impressive. Dobo is starting to struggle against Mujin. Desperate, he charges towards Mujin. Bixin and Masok shout, telling Mujin to dodge, while the Cheonghua leader laughs. Mujin uses the first form of the Peerless Nine Swords, Preemptive Strike, and clashes swords with Dobo. Everyone gets shocked seeing Mujin block the attack. Mujin pushes Dobo back with brute force. Mujin starts laughing, while Dobo curses at him, calling him a crazy bastard. Dobo starts gathering internal energy for his next attack. Everyone realizes that it will be his final strike. Mujin charges in, telling Dobo that his gathering of chi is too slow, and using weapon destruction, he strikes Dobo and pushes his sword back, creating an opening. Though Dobo manages to block Mujin's attack, he feels helpless against them. His sword starts cracking under Mujin's continuous attacks. Dobo, gritting his teeth, wonders how he is losing to someone who doesn't have internal energy. His sword breaks, and Mujin, seizing the opportunity, cuts off Dobo's arm. While Dobo looks in bewilderment, Mujin kicks him hard in the chest, sending him flying back. He crashes to the ground, dust flying everywhere. His mother calls out his name, worried, while Bixin and Masok watch in a stupor. Dobo lies there bloodied, marking Mujin's victory. Mujin walks to the severed arm and picks it up, and tells everyone that he will take his arm as the payment for 17 years of grudge. Dobo's mother, with horror visible on her face, asks what Mujin said. Mujin replies that since it's the Cheonghwa merchant group, they will find a way to reattach it. Han Yigang comes down to the arena, placing his hand on Dobo's chest. He says that his energy core is also shattered. His mother, worried, rushes to Dobo in a hurry. Han Yigang asks Mujin if he really had to go this far. Mujin asks what he is talking about. Yigang says that the gap in skill was clear and the match was over long ago. To which Mujin argues that if he is going to be like that, he has plenty to say as well, and asks if it was necessary to use the 7-wound fist technique on a child. Bu Choyun stands there speechless. Mujin says that this is the price for provoking the Flamehua clan, and leaves, saying that they should prepare themselves. Bu Choyun drops to her knees, crying. She swears that she will never forget this matter. People raise their arms in celebration, praising Mujin, saying that he defeated a disciple of the Outer Kongdong sect with a few moves, and with a sword art they have never seen before. Mujin steps down from the arena, and Bixin and Masak approach him. Mujin suggests that they head back, to which Bixin agrees. Looking at Mujin leaving, he wonders if Mujin's back was always this big. Mujin asks Bixin if he had spent all the money. Bixin replies that he didn't. Mujin, thinking about the tough meet he had before, says that then he'll have to stop by the Bangzhou sect due to some money issues. Then Mujin stops and tells Bixin that there is one more thing. He doesn't care much if the other martial artists or Huanbong leave, but if they try to separate his siblings and him again, then they die. At the promised location where Bixin is waiting, the kids are pulling his hair out, unhappy that he brought them there on the day of Mujin's duel, saying that they won't forgive him this time. Bixin asks them to at least let him read the message that Bixin sent, and says that he is screwed. The message reads that Mujin has won the duel and the escape plan was discovered, telling him to return immediately. The children sitting on the carriage nag at Huanbong to go faster,